Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Koenigsegg Jesko in Forza Horizon 4. Recently I won this car in the Let It Snow seasonal event, I think it was, so I wanted to show you guys how it does in multiplayer. But I need to tell you guys something first. So you see this right here? This was actually recorded after the races. It's really smooth, a full 60 FPS on my new system, but unfortunately this is after I did a fix after the races that I recorded in the video. You see, I had set my Forza frame rate to 144 frames per second to match the 144 Hz monitor that I got, but unfortunately OBS recording at 60 FPS did not go very well with that, and unfortunately the recordings of my races ended up being a little bit stuttery. It's not terrible, but I just wanted to let you guys know. Now, after recording the races and viewing it back, I was able to fix the problem by setting the game's FPS to 72 instead of 144, so all future Forza videos I do will look like this and you won't have to worry about the lag. So let's get right into it. I'm using an S2 class tune with a rank of 998 that was created by Nalak28. One of the big benefits of this tune was he found a way to make the car all-wheel drive below X class. So here we are in our first race on Greendale Sprint, which, as you guys might remember from some of my previous Forza videos, which were granted a long time ago, is one of my favorite tracks, I think, in the game because it just has a lot of variety to it. We have the sharp turns in the city, we have the long turns on the highway, we have some of the more sweeping curves out in the countryside. It's just a very enjoyable track for me, and it was one that I definitely wanted to play on toward the beginning. For these races, I hosted a private lobby for Purple Team members who own Forza Horizon 4, so if you own this game and would like to be in a video with me, you can join the Purple Team Discord. The link will be in the description. If you go to the Special Roles channel and choose the Forza Horizon 4 role, I will ping that role whenever I am going to do a lobby and tell you how you can get into a race with me. This is probably one of the easiest ways that people can get into my videos without happening to meet me in Asphalt 9 multiplayer. So now we're coming up to one of my favorite stretches of this track, which is out on the highway. Now, this car, the Jesko, can go very fast even in S2 class. I don't know if it's the fastest S2 class car, but it's pretty fast. It's definitely one of the speedier ones. I think it can go up to around 275 miles per hour at max, but the thing is, there aren't really any races where you are able to do that. Like here, I was able to get up to close to 240, which is pretty fast for this class. However, you're pretty much never going to get up to that full amount. So this car won't really reach its full potential in these little races here. But if you test it out on the highway, that's when you can get up to that higher speed. So my last Forza Horizon 4 video was, I believe, the one about the Devo a few months back. Well, the Devo is now coming to Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9, and what I plan to do with Forza is to keep making videos about those cars that are in either Asphalt 8 or Asphalt 9, because I feel like those will be the most interesting. People like seeing, at least from my experience, cars that are really good in one of their favorite games in another game, just to see how it performs there. And in the case of the Jesko, it's pretty good. It's definitely one of the fastest cars in the game, if not the very fastest. It's pretty much tied with the 599XX Evo. Next up, we're on Lakehurst Forest Sprint, and we're getting really close to a full lobby. I actually do have a full lobby later on in this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. That was the only time that I'd ever done that so far in Forza, so it was a lot of fun. I tell you, and I've said this to the Discord chat, that playing these races with my Purple Team community in Forza is some of the most fun that I have in racing, because there's not really much of a way to just play with whatever people you want to inside of Asphalt. You have to be either lucky to find them in multiplayer, or you have to be in a club with them, and well, you have to be in a club with 20 people maximum. And sometimes people ask me to go to their club to play with them. Well, that's not really feasible, as I'm currently the leader of Legions United 2 on Windows, so that's why I'm unable to do that. So definitely Forza is a way, it's a more casual, I guess, game for me than Asphalt 9. So it's a way to just kind of sit back, relax, and have some fun races with the community, and just have a good time. Here I began to spin out, but I somehow managed to save it. One good thing about the Jesko, at least with this tune, is that it has fairly good grip. You'll notice that sometimes it does seem to skid a bit, but it doesn't really spin out much from what I've noticed. It more just kind of skids and then gets back on its feet, which is not something you can say about all of the Koenigsegg's in the game, especially in snow. Now, the Let It Snow thing where you got the Jesko, well, it was in winter, and so you're pretty limited on the choices of what you can use. Well, there is one card, the Koenigsegg CCGT, that given the right tune can be very good in winter season. It doesn't just spin out a bunch like a lot of the other more top speed oriented Koenigsegg's might do, which don't just have as good of winter grip. That thing though had very good ones, and I was able to win this car without too much of a problem there. And it's still one of the fastest cars in the game. That's pretty worth it if you ask me. A lot of people have noticed recently that I have been uploading more frequently. Well, this is due to the fact that for the past month I have been on winter break, and so I thought I would make the most of that opportunity to make even more videos, especially since there's been a lot going on in Asphalt 8 and 9, especially recently. It came at a perfect time, and I'm glad that Gameloft generally chooses to do drive syndicates, which require a ton of time during some of the more holiday seasons for a lot of people. Now, this coming week, I'm beginning the second semester of my sophomore year of college, so most likely the amount of videos will be scaling back a bit at least, maybe not so much in the first couple of weeks, but definitely later on as classes get harder and exams come, and you guys know how it goes. But again, as always, I'll try to upload at least 2 videos a week minimum. Try to keep it at 3 for as long as I can though, for sure. Because I've actually got a ton of video ideas that I want to make, some of them already recorded, some not, but there's a lot of good stuff coming. So here we come in second place to the other Jesko, and we had a third Jesko coming in 5th place, and now for finally a completely full lobby on Waterhead Sprint. This, as you might be able to imagine, was one of the craziest races that I played in my recording session. A lot of people have been asking me recently about the other games that I play, specifically racing games. The ones mainly that I have are this one, besides the Asphalt ones of course, and the Crew 2 and Need for Speed Heat. Now, the Crew 2 and Need for Speed Heat, I'm not entirely sure how I would really make multiplayer videos about in there, and I'm honestly not entirely sure what else to make videos about in those games. But definitely, if you have any ideas, let me know. I would definitely love to, as I want to keep this channel mainly focused on racing games, as that's what's been my passion in video games for as long as I can remember. And I do not have the remastered version of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I never got the original game, and I never really got into Need for Speed games in general until Heat came out. I did download No Limits on mobile, but I don't even really know if that counts as a full Need for Speed game, because I'm pretty sure it's a lot more pay to win than the others. Being a free mobile game, I guess that makes sense. Now, coming up here with one of the funniest things that happened in my recording session for me. So we've got these 2 Jeskos, Boss Hyperion and Ardno, duking it out right ahead of me, and I'm just kind of following along, trying to stay back and hoping to pass them if the opportunity arose, and it did. They both got slowed down a little bit, and I just went bye-bye. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I laughed out loud, I remember, at that during the race. I'm a cruel human being. GG, guys. But in all seriousness, it was great fun playing with these guys. Some of us were trying like really hard at it, other ones were just playing casually. It was a very fun dynamic overall, and now we're moving on to our final race, which is on Ambleside Sprint. Now this one isn't particularly one of my favorites, because I don't really like those hairpin turns. And that becomes kind of a part in this race in a sense. This race here was in the last sets of races that I played, and 2/3 of all the cars in this race were actually Koenigsegg's. Thought that was pretty interesting. There's 3 Jeskos, including myself, 2 CCGTs, and 1 CCX, as well as a Viper, an MC12 Forza Edition, and a 599XXE, the Jesko's biggest competitor, at least in X class for top speed. I'm not really sure just how good the 599XXE is in S2 class. I think it's more average while still being more top speed focused, sort of like the Jesko is. But yeah, these 2 cars really only reach their full potential in higher classes. So here I have a bit of a battle with Skipper. We were both in Jeskos going up these hairpin turns, and it was very difficult with how narrow and tight the track is at this point to not bump into each other all the time. But finally, we round the final one. I take the inside and manage to get just slightly ahead, coming into the second half of the track. Although, he's still right there. This was definitely one of the longer sort of little dogfights that I had. Now that we're in the final race, it's time for me to give my general review about this car. It's definitely one of the better cars in S2 class in my opinion. It's got great speed, it drives quite nicely. I can't really think of anything particularly terrible about it. There are better cars in the class, but this is definitely a good one to go for, and it's got pretty good grip and overall handling if you know how to drive it properly, I should say. You can tell I spend more time in asphalt than I do in Forza. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more asphalt and other games content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!